Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Quan Wath with the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp, coming with a quick lunch break lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And as you can see by the title, man, that shameful spewing, it will never stop, man. Right? We're seeing, just land backing off the spirit. Brothers going into these different AI videos that Iran is putting out, with the Lego, singing the songs about, just exposing Esau Edom, man. Right? Exposing these devils to be the wicked that they are. Right? Exposing all their deeds in the earth to, the world. Right? So as it says here in Habakkuk 2, and first, that spirit has been going out through the prophets, right? Through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, first and foremost, man. Right? Dealing with our apostles and the elders on down. Right? That spirit started there. But now it's rubbing off on the other nations, man. Right? So like I said, that shameful spewing will never stop. Right? Even when Esau is, wiped out of existence, if their remembrance should ever come to mind, it's always going to be of the wickedness that they accomplished, man, right? That they executed in the earth, and that being the reason why they had to be, eradicated, right? Now going to this, Habakkuk 2:16, thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered, right? So they're being exposed, man, right? The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on their glory, or on thy glory, right? That shameful spewing, right? The world has had enough of these Amalekites. It's had enough of Esau Edom as a whole, man. But starting with the chief house being Amalek, and it's what's the word? A bodyguard, or the offshoot being America, right? That shameful spewing is going out on them, right? That's why I have the thumbnail, right, as that picture of the world throwing up, them small hats, man, those Israelis, right? Because that's the spirit that the earth is in right now, and Iran is just exemplifying that, right, at this time. But everybody else is speaking on it. You see the EU and NATO nations speaking out against America, speaking out against these Israelis, man, right? Which is all going to lead to, right, the beast hating the whore, right? Let's go here, because that shameful spewing started with the prophets, right? Let's see. Just something real quick, man. Got to get back in on the plantation. This is Isaiah 62, and we'll start in verse 6. Yeah. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. And a part of that holding your peace, or not holding your peace rather, is what? Exposing, right? The prophets have been exposing this devil day and night and day, right? For the better part of the last 40 years, 40 plus years with the Apostle Tahar, man, right? That never hold their peace day or night, that ye make mention of the Lord, ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, right? So in the mentioning and being someone who's mentioning the Lord, someone who's coming in the spirit of prophecy, being the spirit of Yahweh Shai, right? Part of your job is to come against the evil, man, right? It said, who shall stand for me against the workers of iniquity, right? That shameful spewing, that exposure, right? Going out continually, man. And now the whole earth has caught up to that vibration, You got France speaking out against them. You got Spain speaking out against them. You got Iran speaking out against them. You got all these other nations having these secret councils amongst themselves, speaking out against America and these Israelis, man, right? Because ultimately, again, the beast shall hate the whore, right? What's that in... Actually, let's finish this out and I'll grab that. Isaiah 62:7. and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth, right? Give him no rest, right? Continually crying out to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And part of those cries are crying out about the wicked abominations that are done in the midst thereof, man, right? And exposing who is the catalyst for all these things taking place in the earth, man, right? Whether it be the Epstein, whether it be, all the drug trafficking, whether it be, you name it, man, poisoning the food, the water, the air, right? The debaucherous nature that's exalted in society, right? All these things are being exposed, and now it's being exposed on a global stage, right? As these nations start to turn their backs on America, man, right? So Obadiah 1 and verse 7. It says, let's read this in the NLT. It reads, all your allies will turn against you, right? Everybody who was once a friend, so-called, right, is turning their backs on America, man. It says they will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. And that's what's happening, right? Everybody's seeing America for what it truly is. Everybody's seeing these Amalekites, right, those imposters over in the Holy Land, for what they truly are, right? And now it's just being brought to light, and it's going to continue to intensify, man, right? As the spirit of the earth, the spirit of the Lord is getting more magnified in the earth, right? Going back to that Isaiah 62, right? Night and day and night, right? Calling out to the Lord, right? Going back to that, right? What did it say? Which shall never hold their peace. That's the point I wanted to get. Not holding your peace, right? That all the exposure is going out. So not only are the prophets not holding their peace, now the rest of these countries aren't holding their peace, because Trump refuses to hold his peace. The scriptures talk about how he puffeth at his enemies, right? So he's puffing at these nations, and now they starting to buck back, man, right? And just going back to the clips that in the little videos that Iran has been making, right? These are more and more exposures going forth, right? So going back to that Habakkuk 2 and 6, or 16 rather, right? It says, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered, right? So everything that they've been hiding, they've been, trying to keep in the background, is being brought to light, right? I believe that's Luke 2 and 12, if I'm not mistaken, right? It says, thy right hand, that's like it. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory, right? Now, I looked this word spewing, right? It says here in the Adam Online Dictionary, it says vomit, throw up, spit, or cough up, to spew out, right? Because this world is spewing out, right? America, man, right? It's spitting away every, like it says, ejector or cast out, right? They're being cast out, right? The shameful spewing, man. Everything is being cast out and shown for the world to see, and everybody knew it, but nobody wanted to speak on it outside of the men of the Lord, man. But again, now that spirit of that continual shameful spewing is coming to pass, right? Let's get that, and then I gotta close it up. Let's see here. The videos is funny, man. I wish I could play it, but Lord willing, I remember to put the link in the description. But this is Luke chapter 12 and verse 2. I said 2 and 12, but it's 12 and 2. Luke 12 and 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known, right? So all the embarrassing moments, right, or the so-called embarrassing, because now they're proud of these things, man. That's why you don't see the backlash. They're not tearing the videos and stuff down, because they know this is what they do, right? but these things are being brought to light. It says, therefore, whatsoever have been spoken, or have ye spoken in darkness, shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear, in the closets, shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So things that were just, hearsay, right, are being proven to have been true, man. Right? All the conspiracies, so-called, right? What, they say conspiracy theorists is 82-0 right now, man. Right? Everything that was so-called a conspiracy has been found out to be exactly the facts, man. Right? I wanted to get that. Hold on. I believe it's here in Nahum. Right? Because this is what we're seeing. Yep. Nahum 3 and 5. Right? All the videos, right? The priest Amawan Ariyah has sent the one where it's talking Iran is talking to Jake, right? And trying to get them to, wake up out of they spell, man. Right? They put the one where they're talking about how the government is run by pedophile Satanists, man. Right? All these things, right, is a part of that shameful spewing going forth. And it's not gonna stop, man. Right? Job, I believe it's 18th chapter, Job 20th chapter, right, talking about how they shall have no remembrance in the earth, right? But the only thing that they're gonna be known for from this point forward is gonna be all the wickedness that they've perpetrated, man. Right? It's no more American pride. It's no more looking at this place as some gleaming example, right, of how to run a society, man. Right? But let's get this and we'll close. Nahum 3 and 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. Right? That exposure, right? It says, and I will show the nations thy nakedness. And that's what these videos are doing, man. Showing the world the nakedness, the nastiness, right, of this devil, man. Right? And the kingdoms thy shame. Again, that shameful spewing, that throwing up of everything that the foundations of this place, man. Right? And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile. Right? As brothers has been saying, this is the worst time ever to be an Edomite, man. Right? And it's just going to get worse, across the world, right? They look at the Americans with vitriol, right? And it's going to, that same, sentiment is going to be shared upon all these Edomites, man. Because they all do these things. America's not the only one. They're just the forerunners, same thing with these Amalekites, man. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock, man. Let me see what that word gazing stock says. Gazing stock. A sight, a spectacle, right? This is a spectacle. An example, right? They're being made an example of, man. Right? And this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg of the example the Lord is going to make out of Babylon the Great. Right? And it's going to culminate in that nuclear fire turning this place into a lake of fire, man. Right? But again, that shameful spewing is continually going out, man. Right? And it's not going to stop. Right? This is just the beginning, So Lord willing, that lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiyah Shai. I'm going to close by giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rekha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom, and Kwame Asharala, and the Bible ball, man. Shalom.